I have no idea. All right, what the hell was that? Being live stream. Oh,
Right, we are live now. You ready?
yeah.
Ready.
Have a great show. Here we go.
Thanks.
Come with us on a journey into the unknown, the unexplained, and the unbelievable. We will test your senses and challenge your beliefs. A world where science and religion clash. Or do they? You will meet real people and hear real stories, but you will not believe. You will witness strange sights and hear strange sounds, but you will not believe. This is the New England Ghost Project. Welcome to the nightmare.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Ghost Chronicles right here on TogiNet and PowerX Radio. I am Ron Kolek, your host, the gatekeeper around the unknown, the unexplained, and the unbelievable, New England's own Van Helsing. And with me, my co-host, the lovely blonde bombshell herself, Ann Carrigan.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing okay. I feel like was I here last month? I feel like I've been gone forever.
It always
I-
seems like you're going
I
forever.
was, yeah, I know, right?
We would join from the hips, and now we're like,
No,
whatever.
for like, I don't know, 15 years. I don't even know, but
Now I got a harem of co-hosts, and it's,
oh, geez, I know.
I don't
I
know who
know.
the hell I got this one week or the next.
So many lovely ladies.
Yeah, there you go.
You are so lucky.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Anyway, we do have a guest today, and
Yay.
he is someone who's been in the paranormal for a long time. I always remember the name. I don't think I've ever spoken to him before or run into him at anything. He is a prolific author, paranormal investigator, and podcaster. He is the amazing Joel. Now, I hope I get this right. Sturgis.
Yeah, you nailed it, man. You got
Yay.
her.
Well, it's only because it's a fish.
Well, no. That's
That's a
sturgeon.
sturgeon.
Sturgis is a city in South Dakota.
Well, yeah, I told you I make my own words up. So
That's all right,
Oh.
man. That's all right.
Ron, I'm so proud of you. You nailed it. Yep.
Hey, right out of the park, brother.
not for the right reasons, though.
2 syllables. You got it, man.
You know what? I'd rather be lucky than good any day of the week.
What's the old saying? Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
That's
Blind squirrel
right.
finds a nut. Yeah.
Do blind squirrels really find nuts?
I don't know.
I don't-
I would hope they do.
I
don't
bet they
think
do.
I don't think they do. I think they starved to death.
Yeah,
Probably run out in the street in front of my car, and that's the end of it.
Then there's that.
So I don't know about this blind squirrel nut thing. I don't know where that came from, but they ought to leave it where it was.
Hmm.
Anyway, we do have a guest, and you have been doing this for a long time. You sent me an extensive bio, which is frightening. But it's all that reading. It's oh God, look at how many.
I've been
pages?
busy, man. I've been
It
really
hurts
busy.
his head.
Yeah, it's like words, lots of words.
Words hurt, man. They really do.
Anyway, yeah. So, how long you've been doing this? Let's start right at there.
Let's see. I started in 92 at the young age of 18. Wasn't really anything I got into heavy. I mean, I always kind of peripherally with everybody, but until get this, talk to a dead guy for 10 minutes. That changed a few things.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
was that?
Well, I was working at a radio station. I've been in radio since I was 18 as well. And so I was working at a radio station in Texas at that time, and I just graduated college. I went to Brown University for broadcasting. And, when you get out of college, they don't tell you it's hard to get a job, right? So you kind of take wherever you can get it. And I am far from a country music fan. Nothing against it. Hey, nothing wrong with it. People that love it, absolutely, you do you. I'm more of the Led Zeppelin classic rock kind of guy.
Mhm.
So I took a job at a classic country radio station, which I did learn,
Oh
just
boy.
sidebar, to really enjoy country music after working there.
There you
Mhm.
go.
So good stuff, good stuff. So I am working the midnight shift. I've been doing that probably about a year at this point. And I would do overnights, and then every Sunday morning there was a guy named Roy Johnson that would come in. And when I say, he's an older guy, but he was a real cowboy, like the real busting broncs, driving cattle.
Mhm.
Always had great stories about being a ranch hand, doing this and doing that, which is totally cool, right? And every morning he did a show called On the Trail with Cowboy Roy. I know, very original.
Mhm.
Um, and when he would come up, and I knew he'd be coming up, I would set my set list extra long for him. I'm talking like a 25-minute set list so he could kind of settle into the studio. Didn't have to go ahead and hit the ramps right away or anything, meaning didn't have to put tunes on. He could just kind of settle in. And I always took that time because to kind of talk to him a little bit because he always had something interesting to say, just something cool. And that morning he came in and like always, like he'd been doing for a year that I've known him, and he grabbed his cup of coffee and we were talking baseball, big Texas Ranger fan, and I think they were doing well that year or bad. I can't remember my sports very well, but
Mm.
they were doing something. And he was talking about it and I said, well, that's cool, man. I'm glad you enjoy that. And so he says, well, I gotta go in the studio, do my thing. And I said, absolutely, Roy, you have a good show. So now this radio station was a two-story radio station. Our broadcast stations were upstairs, and then the sales department was downstairs.
Mhm.
So in order to leave, you had to walk through the sales department, and that's where all the main offices were, and that's where the big head honchos were.
Mhm.
So I was coming down those steps, a long corridor, and at that time, my boss's name was Dennis. He was the general manager, and he would never be there on a weekend. I mean, the station would have to literally be on fire for him to show up. There was no way you're getting that man in on a weekend. But lo and behold, there he is standing there in the hallway.
Mhm.
Dennis, what are you doing here? Nervous a little bit. I thought maybe he's coming to fire me or something. Hey, I did something wrong. He says, no, I said, okay. I said, well, what are you doing here all nervous? He says, well, I'm here to cover a shift. I said, yeah, whose shift? I mean, who is this showing? Someone later in the day? Nah, I'm here to cover Roy's shift. I know I'm late. Hopefully you put that long ramp on. And I said, yeah, I did. I said, well, no, he's here. He made it. Maybe he called in sick or something and he decided to come to work. He said, no, Roy died last night. What? Yeah, Roy passed away. He had a stroke in the middle of the night. I mean, he
Oh.
was in his 80s. And I said, no, 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 no. He
Oh.
he is very much here. Absolutely here. So he humors me. We go upstairs together,
That's
and I'm going to
good.
show him, hey, he's here. We go there, and the studio's completely empty.
Oh
I'm
no.
not there, right? And I'm like, what the hell? Like what did I just experience, right? And and I thought maybe I was going crazy, but the thing of it is there was a break room off to the left where we're broadcasting, and the styrofoam cup he's drinking out of was still on the table with coffee in it, hot.
Mm. Oh my God.
And I just stopped right where I was, and I looked at him, and he looks at me, and I think he had to believe me because my reaction, because he looked at me and says, kid, there's a lot of strange things that happen in these radio stations, and maybe you should take a little time off.
Ah.
Maybe you've been working midnights too long. But then
Oh.
the worst part though wasn't, I mean, the second worst part wasn't the fact that I met a dead man, talked to him for 10 minutes, was the following nights going, Roy, do not show up.
Yeah.
Whatever you
Oh,
do,
no.
I do not want you showing up. I do
Oh.
not know what I would say.
Oh crap.
So yeah, that was my introduction
Oh
to
my God.
ghosts.
A couple
And
of side notes on that, though, which is interesting, is that is the number one sighting of apparitions. Is what I call messenger spirits, and that's ones who have just died and just show up to let you know they're okay or whatever, and they just appear to
yeah, it's
usually someone
crazy.
they know. That's
Wow.
the
It
most
was like,
commonly reported.
yeah,
Huh.
and Since then, I've had theories on it. Did he not know he was dead? Was he just going through his normal
Right.
motions that he would normally go through? Things like that. And so after that, it was really an eye opener because I could no longer. I was kind of a skeptic before. I'd done
Mhm.
paranormal investigations. I've done this. I've done that. I was always a little bit of a skeptic. I'd hear these ghost stories. I go, yeah, whatever. Yep, whatever.
Yeah.
Then I had my own, and it completely was a paradigm changer.
But
I
that
can imagine,
But that
right?
brings up an interesting story, though. Does that mean ghosts drink coffee?
This one did.
Well,
This
he left it
this
on
one
the
definitely.
table, so maybe not.
Yeah,
So maybe it was more of a time slip where it was just a different
yeah,
time.
it could. I like to think. I think personally it's the ghost, but you know what you bring up too
Mm,
is possibly valid. I mean, could have been a time
mhm.
slip. Could I
Only
have
only
gone to
because
a?
of the objects that always intrigues me. I mean, I can understand spirits. People see them, yada yada, whatever. But when material objects uh, appear when they shouldn't. Like I speaking with Richard Felix, not Richard Felix, Richard Sennett, and he was telling me one of his first introductions at a monastery was a monk that was carrying a candle,
Hmm,
and so the candle was real, and it's the monk was not.
yeah,
Uh,
Mm.
so it was like strange. I mean, so it's interesting. Maybe it is a time slip. Maybe I don't. Maybe they can.
It's like muscle memory for your soul,
yeah.
right? Like
It's
you're so used to doing as a person a certain task. Oh, you do like whatever. You get up every day and you do this, this, and this.
Mhm.
Like, is your soul still repeating those steps, you know?
Interesting.
it could
Interesting.
be. I mean, how many times you've driven to work and you don't even remember doing it?
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
You're just
Exactly.
there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Did I drink
That's
all that wine? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, sure goes
I
fast.
don't remember it. But the other thing is that I had a laugh because I was on WCCM for quite a few years, and then actually came back and did the morning show there, and we did an investigation there because yeah, there was stuff that happened. So maybe radio stations, all that radio frequency stuff.
Mhm. Energy, right?
Yeah, who
That
knows? I don't know.
energy.
Well, if you worked at the station, the transmitter rooms are full of EMF,
Yep.
just
Mm-hmm.
full of EMF. And if you go in there, like we used to go in there with our cell phone, it actually make your cell phone go nuts.
It's
Yeah,
just
that's what I was thinking.
sparkling, sparkling.
That's good. All right, so that was your first introduction into the paranormal, and so you kind of believe. So where'd you go from there? I guess.
Well, and then after that, I kind of took it a little more seriously, a lot more seriously,
Mhm.
and thought to myself, I want to get to the bottom of this. I want to find out as much as I can anyway. And you got to remember, this is way back in the day. I mean, this is long before the TV show
Oh
stuff. This is
yeah.
long before, any of that stuff. There's one guy that I ended up getting to know that I would, at that time, mail like letters in the mail incessantly was Brad Steiger, the author. And
Oh.
the only reason why I had kind of met him was I interviewed him one Halloween. And, that was the only guy I knew really that had anything to tell me. And he was gracious enough to keep on going back and forth with me. And he taught me a ton, taught me a ton. I'd have questions how this worked or how that worked. And he was always very gracious and we talked many hours on the phone together. And you went to his house a few times, stuff like that. I really became my mentor in a lot of ways.
Hmm. Wow. And he does like UFOs?
Well,
Is that what I'm
he's
seeing?
passed now. He wrote like 40 books
Paranormal
on the paranormal. And,
spirituality.
and
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from there, and then
That's cool.
so I
Yeah,
mean,
so just
go
kind of
ahead.
honed my craft. Just kind of got a little bit more experience, a little bit more experience, and before you know it, it's 30 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So and I could see how you could get into podcasting because that's right into your wheelhouse with being on the radio. It just
Right.
trans you know moves over to a different medium.
Yeah, that one, our show, the one I'm bringing back, because I did it for a decade beforehand, and it was actually in my market, it was a rival to Coast AM.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that for many years, and it is currently live on our Heart Radio. It's one of their properties.
Oh, cool.
It's also everywhere else is live. We have a lot of fun with it, bringing it back, and the origin story is really funny with that one as well. I had been in the paranormal for a few years, and I used to be the board op for my station for Art Bell, so I knew Art,
Oh,
quite
wow.
well. Actually,
Yeah.
we talked quite a bit.
Mhm.
Great guy, totally great guy, down to earth, just kind of fun. Anytime I had a chance to talk to him, I did. And I remember thinking, well, in our market, something like this at this time is Dallas, Texas. In our market, that'd go over huge if we had our own where people could call in, right? So I went down to my general manager's office, and I said, hey, I have a great show idea for for AM side, FM side. I didn't care. I didn't care how I got airtime, just as long as I got it.
Yeah.
And I went in there, I pitched it. I said, I think that, what we could do is we could do a pre-runner to Coast and have our own show. And he was he didn't even want Coast to Coast AM on his airwaves. He thought that was junk radio. Like, because what would happen is you'd buy it as a package and you get Coast to
Yeah.
Coast, satellited in. So it wasn't like it was, how that goes. You buy a package and you get it. And this time it was, I want to say Premiere was owned by Jones Network at that time. So anyhow, I pitched it pretty hard, and he kind of looked at me and he says, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 1 hour. It's going to be after hours on the AM side.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
all you're going to get.
That's what you're gonna get. AM.
That's all you're going to get is AM.
Yoicks.
And I'm like, oh,
I used to love
after
Well, thank
hours,
you.
right? And after hours on top of it, nobody's listening then. I mean, at that time, the only thing on AM radio was maybe the sports reports. Nobody was tuning in to AM radio. You might get Graham or somebody doing it, but that was about it. And so it took a lot of effort to get it off the ground, to get it profitable. Because I was given the ultimatum: if it's not profitable within 6 months, if you don't have sponsors, you're going to be off there.
Oh boy.
I'm like, oh, no pressure.
Yeah,
No pressure there
right.
at all.
No
And of course, everybody I talked to, as soon as they found out I was an AM site, nah, we really don't want to put any kind of advertising money into that.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
sucks.
But ultimately we persevered. We kept going and going and going, and it became really popular. It didn't get really popular until the college kids in the area picked it up, and the
Aha.
truckers and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we started getting those night workers and stuff that were actually starting to tune in,
Right.
and that's when it became profitable, when we
Excellent.
had that market.
Nice.
I used to love AM because that's what it was AM. But it was local talk, which was awesome.
Yeah.
You get people call in and they tell you to say different stories and everything else. And I mean, it was pretty cool. I mean, I used to love it, and you never know what you're gonna get.
No,
So,
no. Hell, they didn't even give me a screener in those days or anything. I had to run the board. I had to run the phones. Had to do it all, man. And they didn't even give me a staff. At the end, they started giving me a little bit of a staff, a couple of interns that so didn't want to be there.
I used to get a copy of the show on cassette.
Oh
Yep.
my
Here
God.
you go. Here you
Do
go.
you
Here's your show.
remember now?
Set.
If you're old like I am, do you
I am.
remember when
He's way older.
Do you remember when your commercials were on 8-track and you had
Oh
the
my
cart?
God, that's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the cart of death.
I had years. This is a little bit on sidetrack, but years ago I had a reality paranormal TV show on commercial TV. Actually, it was ahead of the Ghost Hunters and all of that, but it was for this little station up in New Hampshire called what the heck was the name of it? The Winds, and yeah. So we used to shoot this stuff in Super 8
Mm-hmm.
video cassette,
Yeah.
and we'd have to bring it in. We'd have to dumb it down to regular thing because then they would put it up on 3/4 inch track.
Oh
And it was like,
Jesus.
oh my God, it was I don't it was cool. I mean, it was in TV Guide and everything, which
Yeah.
was actually a thing back there. TV
That
Guide.
was.
Yeah.
Was.
But yeah, it shows you, back then what it was like for the. I mean, now we got all this digital crap
Oh
that's out
yeah.
there and
Mhm.
AI and everything else, and anybody can sit down and just
Yeah.
do it.
Do anything.
So I guess you have a love for radio. I'm just guessing.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing it since I was a kid, and I still love it. Still fun. Wouldn't want to work in any other industry.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are you still in radio at all? Or
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep, I still very much am. Now, over the last few years, I have been doing more of the consulting, helping other radio shows kind of get off the ground, coaching them how to talk on the microphone
Oh, I
and
do
stuff
that.
like that. So it's been one of them deals.
Oh my God. So by after hours, what time did your show run?
It ran from what did we do at 10 o'clock, and they gave me till 11, and then there was sports between Coast because Coast didn't come on to midnight in that
Mhm.
market. And then they gave me from that 10 to midnight slot,
Oh,
Mhm.
wow.
which was really nice because I
You
ran
stepped up.
right into
Yeah.
Coast.
Mhm.
And then they decided, hey, we have our own show, so we're going to get rid of Coast.
Oh.
And so
Oh,
then they gave me basically, 4 hours to fill
Oh, geez.
and did
Wow.
that for several years. And then corporate radio being corporate radio, they figured, oh, we got a guy that's got some talent. We need to get him off the microphone so he can help other people. Which, kind of sucked. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's not what I went to school to do or what my
Right.
passion was.
Right. Right. Right.
You
Wow.
so but yeah, that's the world of corporate radio. They
Yeah.
kind of put you where they want you.
So you are a night owl. You're a
I
night
can
owl.
be not lately because I was just doing coaching up a morning show. I was
Oh.
producing a morning show.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I was up at 3:30 and then I got in
Oh.
until about
Oh.
4. So I'm all over the place. Whatever I have to be, I will be.
Oh, Lord.
I'm hoping that I've already have signed a contract for the newest After Hours AM.
Mm-hmm.
So I signed a 5-year contract with them.
Wow.
Then that will be around at least foreseeably for the next 5 years.
Ah,
Oh,
good for
cool.
you. That's great.
Yeah.
That is great. Um, so who and you have a number of books, but I don't know if we want to talk about the books yet, but
I know we just got so much stuck in radio here. I'm sorry about that's my
No,
fault.
you're good. Yeah, I could
uh
talk about radio all night. No
no,
worries.
it's just super interesting, and I work at a public access TV studio, so it's interesting, It's all interesting.
Yeah. One more quick funny radio story. WCCM, they used to buy. You had to have the. You could buy radio. What's the word? Like trans. I can't think of the word. I hate that. But anyways, they could buy the whatever it was, the call or whatever it is, but they would have to. Uh, it had to be moved to. So once they bought this place in Vermont, this radio station,
Sure.
and
Uh-huh.
in order to move it to their transmitter in Methuen, they had to, which is in Massachusetts, that's Vermont. They had to send someone out there and then take this little with the truck, and then they used to move the thing. They could move it. I forget how many miles, whether it was 50 or whatever. They moved the thing. Then they would have to broadcast at that point before they could move it again. So that they had this long journey where the guy would have to
Ah,
broadcast all the way down to the thing that took it's something to do with the
Wow.
something to do with the licensing. I can't remember what it
was
was,
it
but
like a dish?
no, 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 the station itself. It was actually the I
Yeah. It was a mobile transmitter. It sounds
yeah,
like they had.
yeah, that's what they did, and they
Oh
would
my
have to
God.
in order to get the license or whatever it was for this particular station, they had to move it physically. I mean, a certain they only allowed it. You
Hmm.
could move it out of this particular area so many miles. So they
Yeah.
actually sent someone up there, and he would go and move it that particular way. Then they would have to broadcast. I forget how long they'd have to broadcast there that way.
Mm.
Then they'd have to move it again
Oh,
and move
that's
again until they
hysterical.
brought it in.
That
Yeah.
sounds
Wow.
really, really crappy.
Yeah, but it was the federal government, so what do you
Yeah,
want?
no, yeah, because they're really touchy on that. Sounds like you had a studio on wheels.
Yeah.
It's probably what you had with a transmitter in it.
We used to get like an RSS feed. Like we had this show, I don't know, it was like classical entertainment or something.
Mhm.
And we had this giant satellite dish, and that was the only way we could get the show, right? And it was ran like 24/7. And like after a while, like it was like the last bastion of the, like you'd go to conferences and the show would still be
Yeah.
there, still with their RSS feed, and we're like, no one can do this anymore, right? Like it's dead. It's dead. They finally did concede, but I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. And they're like, the satellite dish was enormous outside our
Yeah.
studio.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
All right.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we're almost time to the break, so I don't want to jump into your books before.
Yeah.
So, do you have any more radio stuff you want to talk about?
Oh
before we-
boy. You know, I used to work with a guy named Paul Harvey.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Paul Harvey.
And he would come in, and we were at the same station. And I'll never forget watching this guy. And he would come in, and he'd go, "This is Paul Harvey," and that's the rest of the story. That man would come in, and he would do the whole segment that you heard on radio in one take.
Oh,
Wow.
God.
No, nothing. No, I mean, he'd come in, do his stuff, and leave just as soon as he came. He'd come in, grab the microphone, read the copy, boom, he was done.
That's a talent.
Wow.
And then never had to do a retake with him. Never. And if you question him at all, you didn't want to do that, because if you questioned him, it was not good. It was not good. But I never had to edit him. I never had to do any of that.
Oh, sweet.
Just came in, but he would cut many of them at one time, not just one. He would do like 10, 12 of them, of those stories. So he'd be there for a couple hours. Never stumbled, never had to do a retake, nothing. Just let him go.
That's amazing.
I can't do that myself. If I could, that'd be wonderful. Especially when I do audiobooks.
Oh, you do
Yeah.
it? Oh, that's good. Yeah. You get the break
Yeah.
for it. There we
Yeah,
go.
definitely.
There's the break.
Mm.
But anyways, I actually I did one show. I used to do the morning show on CCM again. Well, actually, it was the Net then, New England Talk Radio, and I came in one morning. I always had my large McDonald's hot coffee, and I had it on there, and I put it down, and like an idiot, I spilt it just before the show started all over me. I was drenched, so I did the entire hour show sitting in hot coffee.
Ow.
The things you do for radio, man.
Yeah,
The
that
things
was
you do
fun.
for
That
radio.
was fun. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So we do have to take a break, and we will talk about your books when we come back.
Yes,
I don't know how we get down that rabbit hole, but it's
Well.
always me.
it happens.
Yeah, it's always me. Anyways, we are Ghost Chronicles. That's what we are. I knew it was something.
Yeah.
Ghost Chronicles Next Generation with Ann Kerrigan, Ron Kolick, right here on TogiNet Paravex Radio. And we're all good podcasts go to die. We are brought to you by Circles of Wisdom, 386 Merrimack Street, Methuen, Massachusetts, the Glant Messier Family Law Group, 50 High Street, not the Andover, Massachusetts, and our very good friend Leslie Martin's Reiki Infused Candles on Etsy, and of course all our faithful Patreon contributors on Ghost Chronicles Radio on Patreon. So there you go. Our guest today is the fabulous radio man and author and paranormal investigator and podcaster, Joel Sturgis. And we'll be right back. What? I still got 30 seconds. How the hell did I do that?
Keep babbling. I don't
will.
know. You jumped in early.
Did I
Time
really?
to tap dance, man. Time to tap dance.
Damn it. Damn it. I do this all the time. But anyways, we are brought to you by all those cool people and Joel Sturgis.
And now you're there.
Now I'm there. And
Now
we'll
you're
be right back after the following messages. Yeah, I can do that all day. Mr. Q's. That's why I miss having the guy talk to you in your ear.
Yeah. Count you down.
Wrap it up, you idiot.
Yep. Yep.
Do you have a paranormal event, book, or something else you want people to know about? Then why not advertise it on Ghost Chronicles Radio? With over 150,000 downloads a month, get your message out to an audience that's interested in the subject. We have a plan at a cost that fits your needs. For more information, contact Ron Kolick at anyghostproject@comcast.net or call 978-455-6678.
There's a shadow on the wall that looks like a man. Lord, that lamp just moved on that stand. I got movement in the cellars, I got footsteps in the hall. There's no time to waste, I better make some calls. I gotta get ready, make everything right, 'cause all my rowdy friends are ghost hunting tonight. Hey, round up the team, let's get started. This is Brother Mike. There's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rowdy friends are ghost hunting tonight. This old house has a long history. It should be real good for activity. And we got the house wired for sound and got motion alarms setting all around. Got a box full of batteries ready to go, and everyone's itching to start this show. Got our logo tees, driving black SUVs, and that one bald guy with a slick goatee. Hey, round up the team. Let's get started. Hey, this is Brother Mike. Well, there's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rowdy friends are ghost hunting tonight. Hey, round up the team. Let's get started. Hey, this is your big brother Mike calling. There's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rowdy friends are ghost hunting tonight. That's right. Go get 'em, boys!
Explore the seasons of the witch by way of magical spells and practices for each turn of the wheel of the year. Magic for All Seasons offers a fresh approach to a lifestyle that focuses on mind, body, and spirit in the nature-based way that our ancestors practiced throughout the ages. Starting with Samhain, author Marla Brooks, an experienced and long-time magical practitioner, explores the 8 Wiccan and pagan Sabbats that comprise the traditional Wheel of the Year, while incorporating original spells, recipes, incantations, meditations, and more that enhance the magic of each season. Oh, and be forewarned, this book is dedicated to Marla's great-grandmother Sophie, and a powerful witch she was. You'll run into her throughout the book. So don't be surprised if you feel someone looking over your shoulder. It's only Sophie wanting to say hello.
And welcome back to Ghost Chronicles Next Generation with Ron and Ann and our special guest this evening, Joel Sturgis.
Ooh, I like the way you say that.
Oh, good.
Did we lose Joel? Did he run?
Nah, I'm right here,
He's
man.
here.
All right. So if I stray from the topic, please
Sure.
bring me back.
Sure.
Somebody.
All right.
So let's talk about these books that you wrote. And,
Yeah.
so do you have a favorite one that you want to start with? Or
Boy, I like the Ultimate Midwest Haunted Places Road Trip Guide. The reason why I like it is I went to each and every one of those locations in the book. I didn't mail anything in. I didn't research anything on the internet. These are all just all my honest to goodness own travels.
Nice.
And there's like 50 locations in there.
Oh, that's cool.
And you know, and because a lot of them out there, and there's a lot of great road guides out there. I mean, they're all wonderful, but you know, not all of them the author's actually been to. You know, so
Right.
and I thought if I was gonna write something authentic, it had to be me doing it, you know, actually going. Because I can't say, hey, that's a great location without actually being there myself, getting my own feelings on it.
Right. So when you decided to write this book, did you like have a bucket list? Did you what came first, the idea for the book or all the experiences to put into the book?
What happened was COVID.
Ah,
I found myself a time.
bam.
You know, and you know, and I didn't have an outline, didn't have anything. I just started writing, just started writing, you know, because I'm not a writer. I found out while I was writing, I write like I talk on the radio. It's so weird.
Uh-huh.
And so it was a lot of fun writing. It took a long time. I think all told, all these books took about 5 years to write.
Wow.
And you know, when I found a minute, I would just add to it. And like I said, during COVID, when everybody was locked up and locked down, and
Hmm.
you know, what do you do with your time? You know, and that was part of it. I thought, you know, I've always thought about putting together a book.
Hmm.
Well, one book turned to two, two turned to three, then there's a fourth, and then there's a fifth. So, you know, before you know it, you have a catalog, and
Mm.
Foundations Publishing are the great people that have decided that I was worthy enough to publish,
Hmm.
and I was completely floored because I never thought anyone would see the light, you know, ever read these. Never thought they'd leave my computer, but here we are, and they're set for a wide publication.
That's great. That's awesome. So how did do you have like a favorite, or did you have a starting point that you had been to and were like, I'm
Oh,
gonna start here,
yeah,
or
it just started, you know, I picked a state, or you know, I mean, I want to go chronologically, but not so much chronologically, but almost alphabetically with the states,
uh-oh.
Illinois, Indiana.
Oh.
And I went that way, so when the reader picks it up, they can just flip right to their state, you
Hmm.
know. And so that's why it
Great.
was put together that way. But really, I started when I first did it. My first run, it was so just shotgunned everywhere. Oh, this place was fun. That place was fun, because I didn't know how to write at the time, and I still don't. So you know, don't judge me too harshly. But and then I realized, well, there needs to be some order in this chaos,
Hmm.
and so I ended up putting it together that way, state by state. The Willard Library was a lot of fun. You ever get a chance, go there,
Oh,
definitely check it out. Loved it. It was just
that
the
was
history,
that was one of the first ones that had the old webcams that used to be
right?
the
It
ghost
was.
cams.
It
Oh, that was
was.
awesome. I remember that when I
And
first got into it.
right, and
Ah.
you know, not all these are like I mean, this is throughout a 30 year. In fact, I write in the book, I say it took me like 30 years to get all these. So,
Hmm.
you know,
Okay.
some of them are a little bit older than others.
Hmm. All right.
That's so cool.
Well, that makes sense.
It was a lot of fun though. A lot of fun.
Go ahead.
Do you have a favorite? So is that your favorite, or you have what was
I
your
liked
favorite?
that. And then there's a small cemetery where in my home state of Minnesota that is up in Buell, Minnesota, called Lakeview. And that was I went there because all the locals were like, you know, that place is so flippin' haunted. You gotta go. And of course, when you hear that,
I
you
gotta go.
gotta go check it out, right? Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can't just sit there and hear that from like 10 different people that
Yeah.
don't know each other, and they're all
Uh-huh.
saying that place is haunted. Seriously, it's really haunted. And so I did some research on it, and in this little town of Buell, Minnesota, I think there's like 900 people. At
Mm.
that time, there was a place called the Shaw Hospital, and the Shaw Hospital is a tuberculosis hospital.
Ah.
And so I didn't know what I was expecting when I went there. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, it's a small, you know, it's kind of a smaller cemetery, but what they did there, and it's kind of sad, is you go into what they call the Potter's Field area,
Yep.
and instead of names, they have just numbers on these
Numbers.
markers, right?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
and and so and that was kind of I wasn't all that learned how they did things like that. So I started doing some digging, and the town wasn't all that great. I was doing this digging. So I'm asking these questions, and they'd rather forget, right? So
Right.
finally, I'm looking at the ledger, and because the ledger, they had a ledger at City Hall of the people that died there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking, I'm reading, and it just give the plot numbers. Those numbers turn out to be plot numbers. What floored me is they'd put multiple bodies in one plot.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, you kidding me? That's
Mm-hmm.
just terrible.
It is.
And so in order to find your loved one potentially, you would have to know the plot number, and then you would have to find their name, and that's where they
Mm-hmm.
are. And and let me just tell you that this cemetery is just freaking haunted. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when I showed up, I'm like, I don't know what to expect, so I'm just kind of there by myself. I did a lot of these by myself,
Right.
like
Oh
all
wow.
by myself, which I go into it in the book going, you might want to bring a friend.
Yeah, that's kind of like a paranormal no-no.
Yeah,
Investigating
well,
no-no.
see, but a lot of times I just my ego, I guess, kind of got to me. I'm like, I can handle that, not a problem.
Yeah.
So we go into I go to the cemetery, and it's one of those spooky nights, and I spent like 3 nights there. And not there sleeping there, but I would go back to the
That's
hotel
good.
and come back.
Help that.
Hey man, I'm brave, but
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
quite
a lot.
that
Yeah.
brave. So it was the first night there. It looked like something out of a Bela Lugosi movie. You got the fog rolling in, and you got the
Cool.
headstones, and
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, holy crap! This is kind of intimidating. So at that time, the only thing I had was a tape recorder and a camera and a notebook.
That's
I
good.
didn't have any of these cool gadgets they have today, and I still find myself not really using a lot of those cool gadgets. I
Mm-hmm.
have my own personal feelings in the gadgets, and anyone that uses them, God bless them. That's your deal. You want to use them? That's awesome. In my mind, I was thinking, do lights really indicate a ghost?
Right. Yeah.
In my mind at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so here I am in this cemetery, and I'm walking amongst these gravestones, and I kind of had a Scooby Doo moment, feeling like Scooby Doo for a minute, like not like the good, tough Fred, more like Scooby and Shaggy, getting ready to have a,
Oh,
yoink, yeah,
Yoinks.
Reggie moment and run out of that place. And I remember seeing these shadow people along the wood line just staring at me.
Mm.
Well, like I
Mm-hmm.
looked out, and there they are. They're there. I mean, there's no doubt about it, and they're
so
different
what they
heights.
look like to you?
They were just like
I know what
people,
you're
like,
calling them, but what did they
yeah,
look like?
they were blacker than black. You know what I mean? Like so dark. I mean, it was already a dark night because it had stormed earlier, so it was already a dark night.
Mhm.
They were blacker than the night around them,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Okay.
could see them in the tree line, but I would move and they would move.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
if I would move to a different part, they would come with me.
When you say they, there must have been more than one.
There was, well, the ones I saw, I would say if I had to count them in my head at that time, my math wasn't exactly great because I'm like, what did I get myself into? And here I am
Mm-hmm.
all by myself. And my first thought was, someone messing with me. Come on, are there people out here? I mean, is something going on here? And wherever I would go, but they were moving silently.
Mm-hmm.
They were right, and not in my peripheral vision. I mean, dead on. I could look at them.
Wow.
Mhm.
And when I would move, they would move. Finally, I got this bright idea. Hey, I'm gonna just start talking. I'm gonna just ask just the best questions I could come up with at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I was like, well, is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything that you need from me? And on the recording,
Your soul.
well,
Your soul.
you're right, right. It's more or less get their story out because they feel forgotten too.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Definitely.
yeah. But
Yeah.
if you ever find yourself in that neck of the woods, that is worth the stop.
Did you like
Very.
shine a light on them or anything?
Yeah, I did. Good question. I did shine a light at them, and oddly enough, when I hit them with the light, there wasn't there. There was nothing there.
Oh,
But
so
as soon as the
bizarre.
light go off, they're back.
That's so
Mm-hmm.
bizarre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a Bridgewater State uh penitentiary around here, but it's also for like the criminally insane, and they have a whole potter's field of just small stones with numbers on them. And
Mhm.
it's disconcerting. You
Yeah.
walk out there and you're like, oh,
Most of your old insane asylums had those, quite
yep,
frankly.
everybody's
Yeah.
just a number.
Yeah.
Even,
Yeah.
even like some of the orphanages and everything they had. Like
Yeah.
it's just
Horrible.
whatever.
Horrible.
I know. But so I mean that was a neat introduction to something exciting, anyways.
Hmm.
I would think, anyways. So you talked a little bit about equipment. What do you go out there and do this by yourself or with someone? What do you bring with you?
I usually now these days I bring, of course, my camera, my and I'll bring a couple cameras. I still like a 35 millimeter camera if I can get
Amen.
film.
Amen.
I'm very much kind of like a purist.
Hmm.
I need to have that negative. I need to have something that could fall back, and only because that's how it was. I remember, I mean, that's all we had, and
Yeah.
once that negative was there, that was there. That's what was captured.
Right.
And I now these days I bring that. I'll bring a digital camera with me. I'll bring EMF detector. Very kind of bare bones. I let everybody else bring their REM pods and this and that and
Mhm.
and stuff like that. I prefer just the old school stuff myself. It's the
Right.
tried and true.
Hmm.
So you use a pendulum or dowsing rods or any of that stuff?
Rarely, rarely. I mean, because I really try to hit it from a scientific point of view too. So like I'll bring a weather station with me for barometric pressure
Oh, that's
changes, stuff
cool.
like
It's
that.
different.
And just to catalog the change in the atmospheres, the change in the
Yeah.
temperatures, stuff like that. I don't really get into the woo-woo stuff that much, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've just never really mastered it very
I like
well, you know? And that's just me. I try to cut because I can't prove a pendulum's a ghost.
No, you can't prove that
You,
a voice on a recorder is a ghost. You
no, I
can't.
can't. I can't. But our best evidence is always going to be the hard
Quite
evidence.
frankly, we don't even know what a ghost is.
We don't, 100%, we don't.
Yeah.
We have no idea. We have not a clue.
So, I mean, there are
Mhm.
lots of theories out there, and I mean, there's so many books that will tell you this is it right, and this is what it is, and this is that. But when it comes to the very end of it, we really don't know. Even a medium, when a medium talks to you, and they could give you information that only this dead person would know, and it may be correct, but there's no way of knowing where that information came from. They believe they got it from a dead person, but we have no clue. It could be
Yeah.
is it like they're able to read your mind, or is it something that's like a greater consciousness that they're able to tap into? I don't know. I have no clue, and I probably won't until I die. But
Well, I remember interviewing the Amazing Randy years ago.
oh, it is a good guy.
I mean, he could convince you he was reading your mind.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was that good.
Mhm.
So you're right. You're right. I mean, I don't know. I don't even try to wager what a ghost actually is. I guess we'll never know until we're there.
That's
No.
true. That is true.
No, I work with Steve Parsons, one of the leading parapsychologists in the UK, and he has a group called Parascience, but he also is on the SBR and the ASEP and the Ghost Club and everything. But he's been around for the years and he's very respected. And we constantly have questions about a lot of that stuff we discuss on our podcast. All right, so it's intriguing. There's so much stuff that's just thrown out there as fact, and it really isn't.
Right.
Well, it's like it's like I've been told many times. I've told the people that you ask 10 different people what a ghost is, you're gonna get 10 different answers.
That's
Right,
true.
because it's all filtered through ourselves. I mean,
Right? It's all personal belief.
for instance, if you believe that you show someone a picture of an orb, and we won't get into orbs, but I'm just using this as an example.
Mm.
If you show a person a picture of an orb, one of them say, "Oh yeah, that's my cousin Joe," and then someone else might say, "Oh, that's the Blessed Virgin," or someone else
Yeah.
might say, "That's an alien," or someone said, "Oh, that's a transmissional being." It's like it's all
Well,
Or it's a
filtered
piece
through
of
our beliefs.
dust, something like that.
yeah, it's
Exactly.
like the toast from years ago, right? That was on eBay. I mean, you looked at it and
The
it's an
toast.
eye of the beholder. I didn't see Jesus or Elvis there, but somebody else did.
What, you didn't? What's the matter with you?
Right? Right?
The clearest example of that is the old. Remember the dress that was on Facebook and
Oh, yeah.
everywhere?
Yes.
What
Yeah, it
color
was.
is it?
What
Yep.
color was it? Yeah,
Mhm.
Well, pareidolia is a hard thing,
it is.
because we're so hardwired to want to put things together because we don't like chaos.
No, we
Mhm.
don't.
Right.
And so our minds are just hardwired to deal with the chaos.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people out there that investigate, and God bless them, but they don't have a clue what they're doing. And
Mhm.
do any of us though? At the end of the day, do any of us really?
Right.
Because if we don't even know what a ghost is,
Right.
how can we agree how we can further the field? And I have a lot of friends who are scientists over the years. And one of them is Bill Nye the Science Guy, and him and I, we
Oh,
go
yeah.
round and
Yep.
we go round. And then another friend of mine is Penn Jillette, and we go round and we go
Penn
round.
Mhm.
But nobody has an answer, and that's part of the wonderful part about it, and it's also the frustrating part of it, because there's no standards and practices in the paranormal, right? So I mean,
Oh no.
for science.
The interesting thing is, they say like there's no such thing as a paranormal scientist, but in a lot of ways there is,
Mhm.
because there are certain things that you can do that are associated with ghosts and hauntings. And
Sure, proxy data.
temperatures is been reported since the beginning of history, and that's one thing that can be measured. And
Yeah,
if you can measure something and document it, that's a that's is it evidence? It's evidence of something, but is it evidence of a ghost? Not necessarily, but there's certain things that we can monitor
Mm.
that can be collected as data
yeah.
for an incident.
Well, a lot of it's proxy data.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. And I mean, scientists use proxy data all the time.
Right. It's all
You
about
know,
experimentation, right? Science is
right,
all about
right. I
experimentation.
mean, tree rings, if they look at climate change, they drill through that's proxy data.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I noticed. I know we're getting almost out of time, and I saw you have two other
There's two other books. Yeah.
yeah, the American Cryptid Hunters Field Guide and the Ultimate Paranormal Investigators Field Guide. So, how do the evidence collection between the two fields vary?
Oh, wildly. I mean, like I got into Bigfoot by accident. I ended up going on expeditions, and it just became just another thing that I had a deep interest in. And Bigfoot is very interesting. There's a lot of good evidence for Bigfoot, along with some not so good evidence. Again, here we are
Mhm.
back in that same boat of what is a Bigfoot? Is there
Right.
a Bigfoot? Stuff like that. So I kind of guide somebody how I do it. Doesn't mean you need to do it that way.
Right.
It's just
Right.
how I do it.
Mhm.
And if you learn anything, that's awesome. But if you're entertained, that's even better. So I
Mhm.
mean, take it, read it, enjoy it, and if you hate it, let me know you hate it. If you love it, let me know you love it, because we all have our own way of doing things.
Right. The
Absolutely.
the interesting thing is that so many investigators what they do is they take they take known science and throw it out there as evidence, and it really they don't even understand it, quite frankly. Like
Yeah,
quantum physics. Quantum physics is probably the most complicated thing in the world, and yet people use it all the time to verify this or to
yeah,
yeah, it's just like you really got to understand. A lot of people use these instruments; they don't even know how to use them. Are
yeah,
they calibrated? Are they, you know? Have you ever read a manual on it?
yeah. Well, like for instance, what is the one that I see a lot of the REM pod is nothing more than a theremin.
Yeah, exactly.
That it's a theremin.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
yeah.
It's a musical instrument that I can't remember who invented. Some Russian guy invented it, and it'll come to me later because I used to
I think
know.
it was Joe Thurman.
It might have been. Who knows?
I
Who
don't
knows?
know. I made
But the
that up.
theremin, that's what it is. Because I've ripped them apart. I've looked at them. I'm like, well, wait a minute. That's just a
Yeah.
theremin. Is all it is.
We-
It's
we-
not collecting data.
No.
Mhm.
We took one on an investigation. Someone brought one, actually. I didn't take it. Someone brought one to it, and we went off. And it would go off. And what we did is we actually timed it. And sure enough, every almost 5 minutes, I think it was 4 minutes and 58 seconds, it would go off. So what was triggered it? Was it a ghost that was very timely?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right.
Or what? Or was it was it something in the theorem of the self that was put in there? A lot of these instruments, by the way, have. Oh, damn.
Ah,
We must be out of time, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
mm.
yeah. But they have stuff that are actually built in to give you readings that.
Oh, absolutely. Because you keep coming back for more. Then you buy more.
Yeah.
You know, it's when I was an audio engineer. Uh, I know really well how electronics work, especially instruments and stuff like that. And so when I cracked open, like for instance, the REM pod, and I saw it was actually about a $30 theremin, and they're charging $200.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, somebody's making money here, and it ain't me. I'm in the wrong business.
Well, Christmas tree lights are expensive.
They certainly are.
Oh, man.
But I don't know. It's so weird. But anyway, all right, Joe. If somebody wants to find out more about you, Joel, if someone wants to find out more about you, where can they do that?
Yeah, the best place to find me is Facebook. I answer everything that comes through. You always get me talking back to you. Facebook, of course, iHeartRadio. I have a page over there. You can find out more about After Hours AM over there.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
nice.
You know, come on over, listen to past shows. You can message me through the network.
Mhm.
Anything, I'm easy to find, and of course, I'm always there to listen. And you know, hey, if you like the books, that's awesome. If you don't, like I said, that's cool too. But I'm just telling you, we're just scratching that surface. One day, I'd love to come back.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'd be
Absolutely.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, are we friends on Facebook? I'm trying to
We
think.
we might be.
I will search my friend list.
Boy,
Yeah, I'm
you'll have to
yeah.
fix that, Ron.
How many Joels can there be?
Right.
Ah.
Well, I have a group on Facebook too called Northern Minnesota Paranormal Research, and I
Oh.
think we're 5,000 strong now. And it began with me and one other guy, so it's kind of grown
Oh, that's
organically.
cool. Yeah.
And it's been fun. It's fun. We just kind of,
Nice.
talk amongst each other, and we have fun. And it's one of those non-judgmental kind of places that I like.
Awesome.
Any
Because
quick
everybody
thing,
should.
because we're out of time. Any quick thing at all you want to add?
Yeah, you know what? If you like to do this and you want to get out there, there's really no wrong, there's really no right. Just get out there, give it a try. But listen to the people that came before you. That's your best teachers.
Right.
Okay.
And no liquor.
That's right.
No, like,
Hear that, Ann?
okay, I'm listening. I'm listening.
All right, we
Whatever.
do have to go. They're playing the tunes. So,
Yes, sir.
thanks, Joel, very much. It was
Yes, thanks so much.
interesting
Yeah, thank you
conversation.
guys
I
very much.
appreciate it. Yep, and if we want to get on again sometime, I'd love to have
Yeah,
you.
that'd be awesome, guys.
Mhm.
Yeah, easy to talk to.
Yes.
All right, everyone, we do have to go. So thank you, everyone, for so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Good night and God bless.
Good night. Thanks, everybody.
From ghoulies to ghosties, long-leggedy beasties, and things that go bump in the night. Deliver us, good Lord.